Hello, beautiful collective. Welcome, welcome. It is Sachi the Scorpio, and today we are going to be doing a Valentine's Day pick-a-pile. So we are going to look into what are the needs of the Divine Feminine, what are the needs of the Divine Masculine, and what is needed in the connective. So please meditate for a while and choose whichever pile resonates with you the most. Pile number 1 is Charizard. This is a fire type. Pile number 2 is Chansey. This is a normal type and also a healer Pokemon. Chansey works at the Pokemon Center with Nurse Joy. And the third pile is Mr. Mime, a psychic type known for creating psychic light barriers. So please choose whichever pile resonates with you the most. If you want to choose more than one, please send different energies or different questions to each pile. I will let you know I'm going to be using my erotic deck. So if you've been around with me since this past Scorpio season, you know I only bring this deck out for Scorpio season and also for Valentine's Day. So buckle your seatbelts for that. And if you are interested in a personal reading, I am going to be using this deck on Valentine's Day. So if you really like the deck and you feel that it speaks to you, feel free to reach out to me for a private reading. My Valentine's Day specials are on my Instagram, so please go ahead and check that out if you want information. And my email's in the description box below if you're interested. So please choose whichever pile, and I will see you shortly. Pile number 1, those of you who chose Charizard, probably one of the most favorite Pokemon of them all, I would say. Charizard is a classic favorite to some, and some, you know, don't really like Charizard. But here we go. Let's see. What are the needs of the Divine Feminine? We have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So it looks like the feminine is very much concerned with reconciling with the Divine Masculine and either wanting someone to come back in or the Divine Feminine going to the Divine Masculine. Let's see what the masculine, it is safe for you to love in reverse. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So it looks like the Divine Masculine is feeling that it is not safe to love at this moment. And I'm getting that there's definitely some spicy energy here. It seems like the Divine Feminine might want reconciliation in a sexual way, and the Divine Masculine is like, you know what, that's not safe for me for some reason. Let's see what is in the connective. Where there is love, there is life. Yeah, so I definitely feel like there could be some maybe child rearing sort of thing, and that's why the Divine Masculine is like, I feel the Divine Masculine pushing not wanting to procreate necessarily. Okay, let's see what's going on with the Divine Feminine. We have the Knave of Air. So the Divine Feminine seems to kind of be in their head, kind of dancing to their own beat. There is this, you know, cloudy, you know, imaginative type energy. So it looks like, you know, the Divine Feminine definitely could be like listening to meditations, listening to like things that are helping call in the masculine is what I'm getting. Very much like audio based. What I'm getting is that the Divine Feminine really needs to hear something from the masculine. Like, you know, the Divine Feminine really wants reconciliation in some way, and it's more about hearing something that you want. Let's see, what's the, okay, the light energy is Sylveon X using Precious Ribbon, and the shadow is Trainer Red card. So we have Sylveon X, so yeah, definitely is some sort of X. This is the holographic in the deck, so definitely a big deal. The Divine Feminine might want to, like, might be trying to act like, oh, okay, I'm fine by myself, like, I'm okay doing my own thing. Like, the Knave of Air in this deck reminds me of, like, oh, he has his AirPods in, nobody can hear him type thing. So even though the Divine Feminine is fine, you know, dancing to their own beat, there still is this huge want for reconciliation. There might be, of course, calling in this X, wanting this X, but Precious Ribbon I always take as, you know, dressing up and looking really good and things like that in order to, you know, seem like you're fine on your own. So yeah, there definitely is this energy that the Divine Feminine needs to feel beautiful, needs to look beautiful, very surface beauty, kind of Libran energy here. It says, when a Pokemon X has been knocked out, your opponent takes 2 prize cards. So there's this energy of thinking like, oh, well, if I look like a knockout, then, you know, like if the X thinks that I'm fine on my own, then I get some sort of prize here. We have trainer using red cards, so trainer indicates the other person. So it looks like, you know, even though the Divine Feminine is, you know, marching to their own beat and they want this reconciliation, it's because the other person threw a red card, which means like, hey, I'm out of here sort of situation. So, you know, like in sports, when you get a red card, it's not like, okay, you're benched. It's like, okay, you're ejected from the stadium. You know, so it does look like someone did throw a red card here saying like, all right, you know, I'm out of here forever. And it, you know, that whatever happened has made the masculine feel like it's not safe to love in that way. Let's see what's going on for the masculine. Woo, we have the Priestess. So the masculine is really trying to understand the Divine Feminine is what I'm getting. They are looking at their own Divine Feminine energy. Like, because it's the moon, it has to do with getting in touch with their emotions. So it definitely feels like they are understanding, you know, the power of the hidden Divine Feminine. Again, how I was feeling like, you know, they're not feeling it's safe, and also kind of like a push away from sexual stuff because of maybe child energy. I get that same thing with the Priestess here being like a nun, and, you know, kind of looking at the hidden parts. Like, there is definitely some energy of staying away from the sexual energy of women right now because they feel that it is unsafe in some sort of way. Let's see what the light energy is. We have Pidgey using peck off. Yeah, so they've pecked off communication here. There definitely is kind of like a cheeky energy when it comes to communication. It says a common sight in forests and woods. It flaps its wings at ground level to kick up blinding sand. Yeah, so whenever there's blinding sand, it's like you can't see something. So again, it's like they don't want to see the feminine. They are like, they just feel that it's unsafe to experience the Divine Feminine right now because they're going through their own Divine Feminine energy. They're very much like in their feels. And also like, you know, kicking up blinding sand, very much blinding communication. They may feel like they don't know something, that something has been hidden from them. Let's see what's in the shadow. We have Nose Pass using Ram. So yeah, Ram I take as like Aries energy. So, you know, this has to do with taking action. It could be aggression or like sexual aggression. That's in the shadow, but you know, this is a fighting type. So it feels like, you know, like Nose Pass, like they're taking a pass on this. Like they don't want to fight. They are very much blinded to some situations. They think that the feminine has hidden some things from them. Let's see what it says here. It says the magnetic nose consistently faces north. Travelers check Nose Pass to get their bearings. Yeah, the Divine Masculine's trying to face north, like keep, you know, following their path and following what they need to do, like following their soul mission. I always take, when it talks about going north, like following your north node. So it looks like they're kind of focusing on their soul mission right now, and they don't feel like it is safe to open up to love. And yeah, travelers checking Nose Pass to get their bearings. So it does look like the Divine Masculine could also be traveling at this time, or need to travel in some sort of way. Let's see what the needs of the connective are. The Chariot. Okay, Cancerian energy. So it's interesting because it feels more on the Divine Masculine end, right? They're in their feels with this Priestess energy, and what they need is to incorporate more of the Divine Feminine energy and to understand the hidden, you know, potential of the Divine Feminine. both sides need to be moving forward in the Chariot, right? The Chariot is Cancerian energy of moving forward, of being the director, of, you know, manifesting the way that the film is going to go. This is really being a creator here. Where there is love, there is life. So it might not be a child necessarily, but it could be, you know, a creative endeavor that you two are exchanging this type of kind of Kundalini energy through the ether in order to create something. Could be some sort of cinematic or artistic piece, but this is really saying in the connective, both of you need to move forward. Okay, and really be focusing on moving forward. Let's see what the light energy is. Yeah, about emotions that are, you know, wonky, that are not upright. This is also the throat chakra in reverse. So what I'm getting is the need to move forward even without speaking to each other. Both of you need to move forward in this as you, you know, and not expecting, like, you want some sort of reconciliation, or the Divine Feminine wants reconciliation, and the Divine Masculine feels it's unsafe. So, you know, in order to move past this and really reconcile with your own Divine Masculine energy and not feeling that you have to speak to this person in order to move forward or get closure. Woo! We have steel energy in reverse in the shadow. So what I'm getting is the way to move forward, do not steal energy from each other. That is not a good way to go about it, because especially if this is your twin or something, you do have that ability to, you know, suck the life out of them. Especially if you're using doing artistic stuff. So please do not steal energy from them. This is also like to let your walls down is what I want to say. Both sides really need to let their walls down. Like the Divine Feminine, you know, in the shadow, it's like this person feels like, you know, the Divine Feminine thinks the Divine Masculine through this red card, like, all right, goodbye, I'm never coming back, which is causing the Divine Feminine to want that reconciliation. But at the same time, like, I'm fine without you. You know, I'm going to look hot and do, you know, everything that I want to do, which is just fine. That's what the Divine Feminine needs. But there is this letting, you know, the walls down. Of course, protect your energy. That is important. But it feels like, you know, letting down those barriers a little bit is more of what is necessary here. I'm going to pick a Moonology card because we had the Moon and Cancer come out. So let's see. What is the advice on how to manifest the highest vibrational timeline in love? We have conclusions are within reach, the full moon eclipse in reverse. So it looks like conclusions are not within reach at this moment when it comes to your love situation. The full moon eclipse is going to be happening in just a couple months, right? When we hit Gemini season, and it's going to be the full moon in Sagittarius. So it looks like that might be a time where conclusions can be found. Let's see if we can get any more information on that. Going right to the masculine with the Priestess in reverse, we have balanced spirituality and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. So it looks like the masculine energy is having difficulty balancing their spirituality and practicality. This full moon in Pisces is coming up next month, right? So, I'm sorry, no. That's going to be happening in Virgo season, but we have Pisces season coming up where the new moon is in Pisces. But it looks like because the Divine Masculine is so intensely understanding the darker and hidden nature of the Divine Feminine and what has been hidden, and realizing a lot has been hidden, it's causing them to be more in their feels, and the Divine Masculine feels less solid than they usually are because they're so deeply entrenched within the Divine Feminine energy, right? Usually, you know, you'd think the Priestess would be on the feminine and the masculine would be like, oh, I don't care, sort of thing. So it really feels very much kind of role reversal, and it's causing the masculine to not be able to, you know, balance the practicality of the situation because they might be really deep in their spiritual healing and understanding the dark and deep nature of the Divine Feminine. I'm going to get one more. Okay, well, there's two. Going right to the feminine, we have take time to breathe out disseminating mood. So the divine feminine needs to breathe, okay? There's a lot of air here with the Knave of Fire and the cloudy aspect of reconciliation. So take time to breathe out. There definitely has been a lot going on. It feels like the heaviness has shifted over to the masculine end, and now the, you know, feminine end is very light and airy and playful. Like, look how cute that is, right? So it's time to breathe out and surrender to the divine full moon. So yeah, it's really important to surrender to the divine all of your worries and problems. And it looks like you are already doing that, divine feminine, with the Knave of Air. There's a very light, upbeat, kind of cheery energy. So just continue to surrender to the divine. And yeah. All right, pile number 1, thank you so much. I hope that you got what you needed. Again, I am doing private readings with my Manara deck. If you are interested, all that information is in the description box below. I'm sending you so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah. Pile number 2. Those of you who chose Chansey, the healer. All right, let's see what are the needs of the feminine. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So it looks like the divine feminine is, what they need is them themselves waiting on love that is worth it. And also I feel wanting the masculine to wait for them until there is uniting and union. In the masculine, heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discuss feelings with each other. So it does look like the masculine does want to have a heart-to-heart conversation and really needs to have that heart connection with the feminine. And the feminine knows that it's worth waiting until this heart-to-heart conversation happens. In the connective, we have, in true love, you want what is best for the other person. In romantic love, you only want the other person. So it looks like you both have true love with each other. You know, it's, you truly want what's best for the other person. The masculine really wants to have a heart-to-heart conversation. It feels like the feminine knows that this is what the masculine wants and is worth, you know, is waiting until the masculine is ready and waiting until the feminine is ready. Very much, you know, surrendering to the divine and allowing divine timing to, you know, do its thing. It very much is beyond romance here. It's not that you just want the other person physically, right? That's some like devil energy of just obsessing about a particular person and wanting them in the physical world. It really feels like you have overcome that, and now it's really understanding what each other needs most in life. Let's see, what are the needs of the feminine? Woo, we have the Empress. Okay, so this is Venus. This is all about, ooh, and there, yeah, the trains are saying yes. So this is all about the masculine bowing to the feminine. This is the feminine being in the highest power of love. So what the feminine needs is the masculine to bow to them. And it, like, the feminine is very much okay waiting for that day until the masculine is really ready to bow and make offerings to the Empress. Let's see what's in the light energy. Woo! Fighting energy. So the feminine knows this is worth waiting for and worth fighting for. Okay, there could be some fighting going on, but it's more so like the feminine is willing to fight until the masculine surrenders and really does have this heart-to-heart conversation with the feminine by bowing and accepting the divine feminine's divinity. Let's see what's in the shadow. We have Dreadnought using jaw lock. So the feminine is keeping their mouth shut. Like their jaw is locked. Like they are fighting to keep quiet and knowing that this is worth waiting for until the masculine decides to open up and share. Because it feels like the divine feminine just knows that, you know, they need space until they are ready to open up and have that heart to heart. So the jaw is locked here, right? This is a throat chakra card. It's also the emotional card. So it does look like emotions are kind of being shut off, and you know, until the masculine is ready to bow and praise to the feminine, she will not express her emotions. It says, this Pokemon rapidly extends its retractable neck to sink its sharp fangs into distant enemies and take them down. Yeah, so the divine feminine is willing to take down anything, right? The Empress owns her terrain. She has her kingdom. She has, you know, everything that she needs, and there is something about being willing to fight those who are trying to stop her from ruling, to stop her from, you know, manifesting whatever reality that she wants. I also feel that there could be some sort of long distance relationship, since there is this thing about, you know, large distances here. Let's see what is in the masculine. What do they need? Woo, we have the 7 of Fire. So this is Leo Mars. So it looks like the divine masculine, what they need is, they feel like they need multiple feminines in their life in some sort of way. Okay, they need to be selfish for a while. They do want to have a heart-to-heart conversation. The 7 of Fire, to me, as you can see, this guy is just getting smothered, right? So it feels like the divine masculine needs healing energy from multiple feminine energies right now. As you can see, like, they are nurses. Because this is Leo Mars takes action for self-preservation, for ego, for pride. So it does feel like the divine masculine is needing to feel like they are worthy from, you know, so many different feminines and chosen by so many different feminines right now. Woo! Hot, hot, hot. All right, what's the light energy here? We have dangerous energy in reverse. Yeah, so this is a special type of dark energy. So the thing is, they're understanding their darkness, but they are not recognizing it as dangerous. And it's the same thing, like, with this 7 of Fire here, of needing multiple feminines, like, in a sexual way. They don't want it to be dangerous. It's like they want to be safe with this. They don't want to hurt anybody. They don't want to do anything in the dark, right? This is dark energy coming to light. So they don't want this sort of dangerous, needing multiple, you know, affections for whatever reason, that, you know, they don't want it to be dangerous for them to express this to the feminine. You know, the feminine wants to be bowed down to, and the masculine, you know, it's like the feminine only wants the masculine to bow down. It's like, if the king, you know, if the emperor bows down to me, then that's all I need. But the masculine's like, well, I need, you know, multiple feminines to cater to my needs. So definitely could be some polyamory type thing, but they don't want it to feel like it's dangerous to express these needs in this heart-to-heart conversation. Let's see what's in the shadow. Woo, we have flash energy. So it's very much like they just want it to quickly happen. You know, I feel like they're trying to rush things in some sort of way. They want this to happen in a flash. It's like they want to have this heart-to-heart conversation, explain it, and not feel like it's dangerous to express it, and for it to just be one and done. I'm also getting that, like, the need to be with multiple people, or get affection or sexual energy from multiple feminines is just to, again, to, like, it's like a temporary ego boost, right? This is a special type of electric energy, which is the solar plexus, which is where the ego is, right? It's that Leo energy of, you know, where your ego and pride is, and, you know, it's where your willpower is. So it seems like the masculine might be feeding off of multiple feminine energies in order to feel like head honcho. And they are playing it safe, though, is what I'm hearing. So yeah, but the thing is with this, it doesn't seem to be serious. This is a very non-committal sort of thing. It seems like it's a way that they are healing by absorbing that feminine energy. It's just very temporary ego strokes. Okay, let's see what's in the connective. What is needed in the connective? We have the 9 of Earth. This is a Virgo Venus. So, you know, we have Venus coming out twice. So Virgo Venus tells us, like, first of all, the 9 of Earth, right? This means that both the divine feminine and the divine masculine need to finish cycles within themselves, okay? And Virgo Venus is very good at discovering what does not fit, what does not make sense anymore. What have you outgrown? What are you too big for? Okay, and both of the divine feminine and the divine masculine need to understand that certain things are not coming together at this moment, right? Like Virgo Venus will tell you in love, you know, Virgo Venus makes a list of what is acceptable and what is unacceptable. There's really no gray areas for a Virgo Venus. as you can see, she, you know, is discovering that she's too big for this town, that she, you know, needs to go elsewhere, that something's just not fitting, something's not adding up right. So both need to understand, you know, what is not fitting and what is not aligning at this moment. Let's see what's the light energy. We have unknown using hidden power. Yeah, and both of you need to tap into your unknown hidden powers. So it looks like, you know, this is a psychic type. So both of you might not know the amount of psychic power that you can have in the psychic connection here. So it looks like that is what you need to do, is look into the hidden powers of your psychic abilities with each other, and understand really what isn't working here. It says, shaped like ancient writing, it is a huge mystery whether language or unknown came first. What I'm hearing is the feminine is supposed to come first. Oh my gosh, pile number 2. But again, like, it's a huge mystery whether language or unknown came first. That's very much, I always say about this card, it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first, the divine feminine or divine masculine, right? They're equal opposite forces. So there is some existential sort of like ancient energy to bring in when it comes to this hidden power. So both of you may need to start looking more into esoteric abilities of, you know, how you can use this psychic connection in order to benefit. Let's see what's in the shadow. We have parasect using colorful spores. Yeah, both of you are meant to touch multiple people's hearts. Okay, this is a heart chakra card, and colorful spores I always take as, right, when you spore, you replicate and go outwards, right? It's a certain type of DNA replication. So this is telling me that both of you are meant to, you know, colorfully touch multiple people's hearts and, you know, have heart connections with multiple people. And it also ties into this hidden power that is still unknown here. We do have mushroom spirit coming in. Mushroom spirit is very much a, you know, again, getting into esoteric and ancient knowledge. Okay. It says the larger the mushroom on its back grows, the stronger the mushroom spores it scatters. Yeah. So the more, you know, of this mushroom spirit, which again is like ancient knowledge, right? Mushrooms are very, very old. They are great, great teachers. And, you know, the more information about the past that you can learn, and the more esoteric and, you know, like hidden knowledge type stuff that you learn, the more, you know, the more your spores can spread, which is the more people's hearts that you can touch. So it does look like there is some, you know, studying to do, some new things to learn about, in here. So really, really interesting energy. I'm getting to call from this light deck. So let's see, for pile number 2, what can help them manifest the highest vibrational timeline here? Okay, we got quite a few. Going right to the colorful spores, we have Council of Light in reverse. Divine Orchestration, helpers in the subtler realm. So because it's coming out in reverse, it's telling me that maybe that's something that you don't know as much about that you could, which is the Council of Light, how the Ascended Masters, what they have done, and the, you know, the journey in order to open up the heart and touch other people's hearts and activate their heart chakra. So that could be something to look into. Coming out stuck, we have align your life. What is not aligned and needs to change? Yeah, so, you know, in the, you know, coming out stuck, I mean, it's very much like this Virgo Venus, right? You can tell that there are things that are out of place and that don't really fit together, right? The Divine Feminine wants the Divine Masculine to bow to them, you know, and to be the Empress, to be number one, whereas the masculine is like, okay, well, I need multiple, you know, feminines in order to feel powerful for some reason. I mean, not for some reason, it's their reason, okay? And then, oof, the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? So the crumbling does indicate some sort of tower moment. So there is some sort of tower moment kind of impending here. And again, it's with this Virgo Venus, like things are not adding up. And if things are not, you know, aligning, then there is going to be a crumbling. And what are you trying to hold on to that really doesn't fit when it comes to how things are coming together? Okay. So, my dears, I hope that you got what you needed. Again, if you are interested in a private reading and this deck really spoke out to you, then feel free to email me for a private reading. My all the information is in the description box. And until next time, I am sending you so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah. Pile number 3. Welcome, welcome for those of you who chose Mr. Mime, the light barrier Pokemon. All right, so let's see, what are the needs of the feminine? We have pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. I will also say that I accidentally burnt this card during the cleansing ceremony, so there could be a certain level of burnout for the feminine, but it looks like what the feminine needs to do is pay attention to the red flags. You really might be seeing, you know, signs that are giving you reason to pause. Let's see what the masculine needs to do. You deserve love. You are lovable. So it looks like the divine masculine needs to understand that they do deserve love and that they are lovable, right? This is all about self-worth, about opening yourself up to love and understanding that they are deserving of love. And the thing is, that's the thing, if the masculine doesn't believe they deserve love, that is a red flag for the feminine, because if they don't deserve love, they will reject love, right? And that can sometimes make the feminine, right? The wounded feminine tries to force love. So, the masculine's definitely working on the self-worth of deserving things, and the divine feminine needs to know that when someone is showing signs that they feel that they don't deserve love, then the feminine needs to leave, okay? There's big Sagittarian energy in the masculine as well. Let's see what's in the connective. Happiness is finding love through giving love rather than through receiving it. So it looks like both need to understand to give love to some sort of situation rather than receiving it. So again, if the feminine is, you know, giving love to the masculine, right, rather than receiving it, then that can bring a certain level of happiness to the feminine. But if there is no reciprocation of the masculine giving love, then there is some sort of issue, right? Because if they are feeling that they don't deserve love, they won't accept it, they won't receive it, and they also won't give it, okay? Desire does not demand love before it traps you, but desire with love creates a powerful bond. So again, there is this aspect of like, right, desiring, not demanding love before it traps you. It's like the divine feminine cannot go to the masculine and say, hey, I'm demanding this love from you. And then once it's given, you know, okay, now we're trapped. And that's just, right, that's a wounded masculine and a wounded feminine there. But desire with love, right? If there is desire and love that is reciprocated on both ends, then there will be a powerful bond. Okay? The bond is just there and it's unbreakable. Let's see what the feminine needs. Whew, we have the 7 of water. Whoa, okay. So this is Scorpio Venus, the deepest of all the Venuses. So it does look like the divine feminine is really craving deep, deep intimacy, undying love, trust, to do anything to you, right? Even like consensual, non-consent type stuff. There's very much like, you know, like feeling vulnerable, and like I always take this card as emotional BDSM. I'll be real with you, okay? So it's like the divine feminine wants to feel safe through that emotional journey of being hurt and then being soothed. Very, very deep, dark emotional needs here on the feminine end. But that's why the feminine needs to pay attention to the red flags. It looks like the feminine may have learned that, you know, being hurt is being loved. And it feels like now the feminine needs that kind of love again. And like being hurt is the way that the divine feminine feels loved here. Yeah, interesting energy. Let's see, what's the light energy here? We have Ellie Gem using Psych Up. So yeah, it looks like the divine feminine needs to be psyched up, right? Like looking in the mirror, like I'm beautiful, I'm this, like, you know, I'm worthy, I'm this, like, because there could have been some things in the past that have hurt. And that's why you need to remind yourself kind of your self-worth, which of course is going to help, right, the masculine understand that they deserve love when the feminine also feels that they, you know, are deserving of love. So I'm really feeling that the feminine here needs to like look in the mirror and talk to themselves, like really have a stern, hard look at what are the emotional needs and what are these red flags that are coming up from, you know, what are the trigger points basically for this emotional BDSM sort of situation. Also, like Psych Up, because this is a psychic type, and Psych Up, I always take this as strengthening your third eye. So it looks like the Divine Feminine needs to upgrade their intuition, really focus on cleansing out their third eye and strengthening their psychic abilities here. It says, rumors of its origin are linked to a UFO crash site in the desert 50 years ago. So there definitely could be some, you know, obviously some alienistic talking about UFO stuff. Definitely gives me some starseed vibes. So if you are a starseed and you're watching this, this could be a really great time to increase your, you know, psychic powers through your starseed community. Let's see what's in the shadow here. We have Pat Rat safety check in reverse. So, interesting. So the thing is that, you know, you need to pay attention to the red flags because the signs are cautioning you about what is safe and what is not safe, okay? But we have safety check in reverse. So there is some sort of shadow energy of like, you know, of feeling like, oh, when it's a red flag, like, oh, I'm just triggered from the past sort of thing, that I'm not going to do my due diligence and check and see if it's safe. You know, there is this energy of wanting to be vulnerable and just like, oh yeah, you know, you can take me however you want because I just need to be chosen type thing. Like, I can take it. You know, just because you can take emotionally deep things doesn't mean that you're meant to, right? We do see that there is programming of, you know, pain equals pleasure. And I don't necessarily mean sexually, I mean emotionally. There can be an addiction to your deepest feeling, right? And a lot of us do get addicted to our deepest feeling, and usually our deepest feeling is pain, especially if you have scorpionic, you know, placements in your chart, especially Scorpio Venus. So the thing is, because the feminine is not doing this sort of safety check and not checking to see if someone is safe and just going into it wanting that deep, deep affection, you know, that's why the feminine needs to pay attention to the red flags and needs to, you know, upgrade their third eye and really get their intuition in check. So that way, you know if someone is safe or not. You really need to trust your intuition when something says it's unsafe. And the thing is if your third eye isn't clear, you might not get that third eye download that this isn't safe, because it might feel exciting and deep when someone is unsafe. Okay? It says, using food stored in its cheek pouches, they can keep watch for days. They use their tails to communicate with others. Yeah, so this is very much like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. Like, I'll watch it for a couple days and see what happens and da-da-da-da-da, rather than, checking to see how your body feels about this. Like, how does your nervous system, does it go into chaos? Like, if your nervous system goes into chaos with someone, then you know that they are unsafe and it's not something that you can just ride out. And also, they use their tails to communicate with others. Whenever tails come out, I always take that as things from the past. So the way that, you are both communicating with each other are through things of the past. And it does look like being hurt very deeply is what love used to mean to you. And now you're kind of projecting that into the future. So, Divine Feminine, pay attention to the red flags. All right, let's see. So we have the Divine Masculine, you deserve love, you are lovable. So it looks like the Divine Masculine needs to understand that they do deserve love. Let's see. We have the Two of Fire. This is twin flame energy, right? Two of Wands. This is Aries Mars. So it looks like the masculine is really only interested in getting those legs to open up. I'll be real with you guys. So, they feel that the only way that they deserve love is if they take action, towards getting the feminine to express their sexual energy by opening up their legs. Very, very fiery energy here. right? Aries Mars means they take action in a very aggressive way, that they take action, you know, that they're the first one to make the move, that they, yeah, basically are the aggressor, even like the predator sort of situation. Very much like they want the feminine to put it all on display. Okay, like as you see, there's paparazzi here, like, yeah, open up, da da da. And the feminine's like, yeah, I don't care. I'll open up. I'll give you everything type thing. And that's what the masculine is feeling that they need. And they feel like when the feminine does that, then that's like love to them. Okay, and the thing is, they want to tell the feminine, like, oh yeah, you deserve love. And love is when you open your legs for me. All right, let's see. What's the light energy? We have Chimchar using scratch. So there definitely is some sort of scratch in the root chakra. It's like they, again, it's like they want to, oh my God, I'm going to drink some water. I'm hearing they want to beat it up. Okay. And there's something not right in their root chakra here. They want to take something to cause some sort of tower moment. As you can see, Chimchar is very much a cheeky type energy. It feels like the divine masculine, they don't really care if hurt happens. They don't really care if they take something from the feminine. You know, as you can see how there's a tower moment in the back, like they're fine with taking something, causing a tower moment for the feminine. And that's why it's so important for the feminine to pay attention to these red flags. Because if the masculine's like, oh yeah, you deserve love, you know, give me your goods, right? That is only going to cause emotional torture for the feminine, okay? It says, a gas made in its belly burns from its rear end. The fire burns weakly when it feels sick. So the divine masculine might have some STDs. I'll be straight up here. You know, the gas made in its belly burns from its rear end. Like there's very much, it feels kind of like some like toxic energy kind of coming out of their ass. They might even want that. You know, more backdoor play is what I'm getting. Wow. Pile number 3. This is very sexual. Yeah, and the fire burns weakly when it feels sick. So the thing is if they don't get what they want, they might start acting sick, like, oh, no. So be very, very careful of that. Let's see, what's the shadow energy? Yeah, Duskox using hazardous scales. There's definitely something toxic here. Definitely something toxic. Be very wary, divine feminine, especially, you know, if someone is a playboy or something like that, if the masculine is just, you know, wanting the feminine to open up and, you know, be overly sexual, not caring, you know, who's coming inside or anything, because there is some poison energy there, okay? Hazardous scales. Hazardous scales is telling me that there is some sort of hazardous imbalance in the way that they approach relationships, right? And this is what the divine masculine needs right now, right? These are their needs. They need a feminine that's just going to open up to them, and who cares? And, you know, they just want to destroy, right? Cause a tower moment. And they want a toxic relationship. That is what the divine masculine wants in this pile. And I'm very, very sorry to say this. But the divine masculine needs to learn that they're deserving of love, because since they feel unworthy, all they do is try to make the divine feminine vulnerable, open up, and then steal from them, steal from their root, right? Through sexual energy. And this is just hazardous scales, hazardous Libran energy, right? But one-on-one relationships balanced out, you know, through this. So definitely they are in some toxic energy here. It says toxic powder is scattered with each flap. At night, it is known to strip leaves off the trees lining boulevards. Yeah, so again, an emphasis on this toxic energy that is coming over here. It's like they have a toxic mind. They're trying to take something from the feminine to spread this toxicity. Definitely not good energy here, okay? All right, let's see what's in the connective. We have 5 of fire. Yeah, so this is when the divine feminine is overly ravenous, okay? And this is one of my sexual assault cards, to be honest. So I will just say that. So it's very much overpowering. It's when the divine feminine becomes over masculinated and, you know, will stop at nothing in order to get the masculine. And we see, you know, the divine feminine is like, oh yeah, I don't care, hurt me, basically. And the divine masculine's like, okay, give me what I want and I'm going to leave. And I want a toxic relationship. It's very, very imbalanced because the divine feminine has taken on too much of the divine masculine, and the divine masculine feels like very, very overwhelmed here. Okay. This is Saturn, Leo Saturn. So again, Saturn being, you know, structure and, you know, like social structures and patriarchal forces and tradition, like very, like, you know, Saturn is like the father and physical limitation, very harsh ruler. And Leo is, you know, very much about pride and ego. So there's so much divine masculine ego in the connective that it is just so much. And that's why, you know, it looks like in the connective, it's like happiness is through giving love, and the divine feminine just wants to give, and the masculine wants to take and steal. And that's not the best way, right? And the divine feminine is trying to, you know, open up so, you know, so that they can demand love from the masculine and then trap them instead of allowing desire and love to create a bond, because this is very imbalanced being in the connective. Let's see what the light energy is. We have psychic energy in reverse. Yeah, we see that, you know, the masculine wants a toxic relationship and is in the shadow. It might be psychically manipulating the feminine. So it's important for the feminine to, again, to really get their psychic energy up. Get in touch with your starseed family. Really cleanse your third eye. And, ooh, in the shadow, we have Illumise using quick attack. So there is this energy of, you know, a quick attack on the heart. So to understand, like, this is something that can happen very quickly where the feminine opens up and the masculine leaves because they don't feel like they're deserving of the love. So they'll get it, right? They'll get that physical intimacy and then they'll run away. And this is definitely a quick attack on the heart. So make sure that you are protecting your heart chakra and, you know, hop on this and get to your heart space as quickly as you can. It says, its fragrance attracts a swarm of volbeat. So they draw over 200 patterns in the night sky. Yeah, so again, it's like, you know, the scent like attracts multiple people, right? And that's kind of how it is, where the masculine just wants, you know, the masculine wants feminine, but the thing is it brings this ravenous feminine energy. And the feminine also is like, you know, fighting over masculine energy. It's very, very imbalanced here, pile number 3. I'm sorry to say that. But it talks about, you know, drawing over 200 patterns in the night sky. So I do take that as, you know, astrological things. So I would check and see where your Venus is, and how things are going with that. Definitely check the transits and what is happening, for you, along with the starseed energy. It might really help for you to understand some of the astrological transits, especially, you know, Aquarian being the alien of the zodiac and an alien card coming up for you. It's definitely important to understand kind of what all of this Aquarian energy really means for you. So I'm feeling to put some light on this because, sorry, pile number 3, that was a little intense and very, very out of balance. And I'm sorry to say that. But let's see, what is the advice on how to manifest the highest vibrational timeline for our pile number 3? We have trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? Yeah, so this is all about trusting your gut, right? Trusting your intuition. And what you need to do is get your psychic energy up so you can trust it, right? Because it looks like, you know, doing the safety sort of check, like you don't want to have to be paranoid or anything like that. You just want to be able to see the red flags for what they are so that you can avoid them, of when you feel like you might be regressing into this sort of emotional BDSM type stuff, right? To know when somebody is really safe here. Let's see what else. Yeah, protection, call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval. I really suggest a cord cutting ceremony. I have one on my Instagram. If you want to DM me or email me, I will gladly send you that information, because it looks like, you know, there still may be some, you know, cords, especially people that you've sexually connected with, that are, you know, draining your power here. So call back your power, cut the cords, and soul retrieval. And then we have the initiation in reverse, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. So it looks like you are going to be asked to take a step into, you know, kind of like another dimension type thing, but that you haven't gotten there. So especially if you haven't looked into star seeds, that's what you need to do in order to be initiated into that. And it feels like cutting cords with this toxic energy might be part of what is necessary there. So pile number 3, I hope that you got what you needed. Again, I am doing private readings. I know that was a little bit intense, but if this deck spoke to you in any sort of way, feel free to email me for a private reading. All that info is in the description box below. And I am sending you so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah!